Is that kitchen knives are perhaps 25% of the knives used in most of the terrible crimes. That's
Wait, what other knives are used in the 75% of the crimes? Like 25% seems like a low number. You should tackle like the large amount of the problem. But anyway, let's keep listening.
one of the stats in the films. And those kitchen knives are usually a domestic situation. Okay. So kitchen knives, of course, it's very difficult. They're a domestic knife. I do think there is areas of innovation that we can do.
Progressive problems require progressive solutions. Let's see.
With kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen.
Do you know? Do you hate to say it if you're smiling? I don't think you hate to say it. I think you love to say it. I think you want to say it so that people look up to you for solutions. I think you want to say it so that other people look up, wow, such a smart individual. I wonder why we didn't think about this.
Innovation that we can do with kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but actually it would reduce. You know, you can still cut your food.
All right, would it reduce though? All right. See, I'm not a smart individual, right? Like, I didn't have money to go to Oxford. I didn't have the wealth and the prestige to join the Labour Party, to have a socialist to educate me. I'm just a simple man that lives an average day-to-day life in a country where people don't stab each other. And so, I have a question. You know, I'm trying to imagine a scenario, right? Like, let's have an experiment, a thought experiment, if you will, right? And see if the solution that Idris Elba poses would actually fix the problem. So, Idris, if you're watching this video, probably not. I'm not as famous as you, and because I don't come up with these interesting hot takes. But, Idris, let's say you are forced to cohabitate with a man that's 4 times your size, right? Like an Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. Like, this man is completely jacked, built with muscles, right? And he can overpower you at any point. Because we're talking about domestic violence. This is why you say it's domestic, right? So, like, you're supposed to live with this man. Maybe it's in a movie, right? Like a director made you gay so that he can flip a checkbox. I don't know. I noticed that they do this in Britain. You're forced to live with this man. And this man wants to hurt you, Idris. Like, he wants to hurt you. Why? We don't know. We don't care. But maybe he's racist. Maybe he just doesn't like you. But what we know is that you're forced to live with him, and he wants to inflict great physical harm on you. And so you're worried, right? Like, you're looking towards your leaders. You're like, well, hold on. Why am I in this situation? Can no one do anything? Like, this man is trying to kill me. And I would come into your house. I would go into your kitchen, and I would take your knife, and I would just, like, chip the pointy stuff off of it. And then I would pat your back and be like, it's okay, Idris, you're safe now. And then I walk out and I close the door. And you're next to this man that wants to hurt you. But, he can't now, right? Because, like, he doesn't have a pointy knife. Do you see why this take is insane? Like, do you see why this take can only come from either a child? No, actually, you know what? I take it back. Even children are smarter than this. British university professors can come up with this horseshit so that the politicians can justify that they're doing something. And then people like you, actors, are selling this brain damage to the people, thinking that if you turn your country into a prison where police officers are frisking everyone just to see if they don't have a shank in public, then you're going to fix the issue. The issue is that you have people that want to hurt others, Idris. Like, that is the issue. And that is something that the politicians do not even want to address, because then they would probably upset their voters. Which means that these politicians are extremely immoral because they are catering to unhinged people for a vote. They don't want to actually look at what is the problem. Maybe it's cultural. Maybe it's religious. Maybe it's mental illness. Who knows? But in a normal society, people don't want to stab each other, Idris. And if people want to stab each other, the problem isn't with the stabbing, right? Like, that is not the issue, because they can take something else. They can take a hammer, they can take a crowbar, they can take a rock. Like, they're still intelligent people, right? It's not like you deprive them of the instrument, and then they're like, oh, I really want to hurt someone, but I just don't have any tools to do it. The government, oh my goodness, they they managed to pull one up on me. I've no clue what to do now. There is absolutely no pointy knives available, and therefore, it's not like the pointy knives are demonic, right? Like, they're not whispering to people and causing them to become insane. And it's like, oh, the pointy knife, like, use me. Like, that's not what's happening. Honestly, like, this conversation is very important for Americans as well. When they try to take away guns for public safety, people end up stabbing each other. And when people stabbing each other, they want to take away the knives for public safety. From your kitchen, right? Like, from inside your kitchen. And so maybe the solution isn't to take away shit. The solution is to actually man up, become an adult, and handle the problem. And the problem is cultural. It's like trying to find out the reason why people want to stab each other. Because you need to take into account that you can't say, well, it's toxic masculinity, it's other shit. Other countries don't deal with it at this scale. Obviously, like, every country has criminals, right? Like, every country will have, like, domestic violence, stabbings. But there is, like, a certain percentage that is manageable as a nation when you're looking at statistics, when you're looking at percentages. It's like, okay, well, in this country, the number of domestic abuse is 0.1%. In a country of, like, 20 million people. And you're like, you know what? I mean, there's always going to be unhinged people, right? It's just like the way it is. Hopefully the police can find them, lock them up. But it's another thing when you're looking at a country and the stabbings are like at 10, 25. Well, then it's a problem. And then you can actually start blaming the politicians. Because it's their job to guarantee public safety. That's why you pay taxes, right? Like, that's why you pay taxes, so that the politicians can make laws, like people don't stab each other. And then other people enforce those laws to guarantee that no one stabs each other. And the way that the laws are enforced and the way that the laws are made are also part of the conversation. You can't just say, oh yeah, I mean, we're going to ban the knives and then everything is going to be fine, right? So you're hurting the public because it's a humiliation thing. Like, why can't I buy a pointy knife? I never stab anyone. What the fuck is up with this? You know, you have a guy that went to prison because he had a Zelda fidget spinner that looked like a knife. And I saw other guys getting in trouble for having potato peelers and shit, right? So we're ending up, like, punishing innocent people that aren't doing anything and would be legal to do anywhere else and could have even done that in Britain 30 years ago, while people are still stabbing each other. Like, at what point do you get to hold a politician accountable and say, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is absolutely insane. You're not fixing the problem. You're just exacerbating it because you want the people that do the stabbings to vote for you. Or you don't want to upset the families of the people that do the stabbings or the communities of the people that do the stabbings. Because this is another thing, you know? Like, those people are still part of communities. The vibe that I'm getting from outside of Britain is that there is more shame and stigma for being a racist than being a stabber. And that is a problem. That is a cultural issue. And maybe that is the one that you need to fix.
Without the point on the knife, which is an innovative way to sort of look at it. And in a country in crisis, I'm sorry, but yeah, let's look at that. But the truth is...
So basically he is saying that he can't be trusted with a pointy knife. Is this what I'm understanding? Right? Because he's in the country as well. And I understand that he cannot be trusted with a pointy knife. That's fucking insane, man. That's wild.
All knives, you know, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of ninja swords to be...
Oh, ninja swords now. So we've moved from knives to swords. Okay.
Be sold. So while, you know, you've got your...
Are you going to go after crowbars next? Like, seriously, like, you can inflict a lot of damage with a lot of items. Are you going to ban all of them? What if someone starts using twigs? You know, someone crafts a spear. Are you going to ban that? A bow stick? Like, come on. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Granddad's sword on there, and you want that...
See, like the thing is, like, even in my country, a lot of gang violence existed back in the day. Even under communism, like, no one thought, oh, we need to ban ninja swords. They know, we need to crack down on the gangs. We need to find out who did it. We need to arrest the people responsible. Like, that's the mentality. It's like, oh, you're going to crack down on the swords. Jesus.
That's fine, of course, but it is leaving a loophole for someone to carry a ninja sword. So let's ban them all, and if you...
What if they want to carry a chainsaw? Like, come on, man, this is so fucking ridiculous. Are you going to ban baseball bats as well? Like, someone takes a baseball bat and puts out nails on it. Like, you're not solving the problem.
You know,
like, what you need then is to Make sure that none of these items are represented in movies either, right? Because like you don't want the movie where you have like the Ninja Turtles, because it may make the swords look cool and appealing, right? So you don't want people to get the idea. You also need to ban all the zombie movies, right? Because like they encourage violence. I mean, this line of thinking purity spirals really fast. This is how you get like the madness of the Anglosphere, where it's like instead of addressing the actual issue, we're just going to start banning the cutlery, we're going to start policing entertainment, and at the end of the day, you're not doing anything. And the politicians keep taking your money.
If you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that.
You need a license for a ninja. So how the fuck does that even go down? How the fuck does that even go down? How much money do you need to spend for the bureaucracy? For the people that are going to analyze whether or not someone is responsible enough to have a ninja sword? And like, okay, so what type of people would be allowed to have ninja swords? Like collectors or what? Like if I want to have a ninja sword, just go into my garden and start whacking trees with it, do I need to have a license now? Like, how does that work, by the way? Like, you have, like, the police officer coming into your backyard and seeing that you're having a ninja sword and going, it's like, all right, do you have a license for it? Do you have, like, a good reason to have a ninja sword? What would even be a good reason to have a ninja sword besides the fact that you want it and it looks cool? Like, what type of reason? What if I want one for self-defense? Am I allowed to have it? I live in a house in the middle of goddamn nowhere. By the time the police comes, I don't think I will be okay. So therefore, I want to have a ninja sword. Can I have that? We're probably not in Britain.
And I think it's a small contribution to society.
Yeah, but it's another small contribution, isn't it? Like there's so many small contributions that do jack shit, and then you turn society into a thing that resembles a prison. Well, as I mentioned before, like the guards are checking to see if you don't have a shank, and if you have a potato peeler, you get arrested. That's what the small contributions end up doing.
If you say, all right, I'm going to back that, I'll get a license for my granddad's sword because
I will get a license for my granddad's sword. How much money? Like, how much is it enough for the fat bureaucracy to keep gorging itself from the poor people? Because this is what you're asking. Like, some chucklehead that is completely useless to society is now going to sit on a desk, get benefits, get dental care, get all that taxpayer money shit, right? So he has a job. And now his kids get to have a job as well, because you're probably going to say that now you need the license for the potato peeler too. And that person gets to wake up in the morning, go to the workplace, get all that cash from the poor just so he can sign some papers and be the little tyrant deciding if someone gets to have a ninja sword or not. This is what you're advocating for. Meanwhile, the people are hungry, right? Like, so let's waste more taxpayer money. Let's keep wasting taxpayer money. My fucking God. When I grew up, I was looking with awe and admiration towards British culture. Like, I thought it was a culture of European excellence. I'm not even kidding. And now, I am so glad that I'm here in Eastern Europe. Oh my God. Like, I thank every day to Jesus. Like, thank you for not allowing me to live in a country with such mental illness. Because this is not Idris Elba thinking, right? Like, this is common British type thinking. And like, every single day, I am so happy that I'm not part of that culture. And it's just like as far away from me, and there's even an ocean spreading me from that. Goodness gracious. I hope the Brits managed to pull their shit together. Like, this is just, holy crap. Like even when I was having debates in 4th grade, you know, like you had like these mock debates. Like in Romania, we would do this. Like we would use the school system in order to teach kids how to think, not what to think. So they would have like various topics, you know, appropriate for the kids that age, and just debate them. And so, I don't think like even in 4th grade we would come up with such a ridiculous solution. Like ban pointy knives in order to stop stabbings. Like, come on. Like, even my mind was so developed at the time that, like, it wasn't extremely developed, but it was developed enough to be able to say, yeah, you know what, this is kind of ridiculous. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.